see so many faces here. You can please come on in if you haven't made it into the ballroom yet. Take a seat, relax. We're going to have a good program ahead of us. Once again, I'm Natalie He. I'm a news reporter with Fox 26 Houston. It is so good to see so many faces here in person. The last time the Chamber had an event like this was actually March of 2020, if you can believe it. So it's been a long road. I think a lot of us are ready to be back here and seeing people face to face, interacting. You know, it's only so fun to be a recluse for so long. So great to have all of you here today. For now, we'd like to recognize some of our special guests, those who spoke this morning at the Trade Forum. First up, Eric A. Miller, Export-Import Bank of the United States. Peter Tataris, U.S. Commercial Service. The Honorable Asim Ramahadi, Consulate General of India in Houston. The Honorable Andre Omar Sirbar, Consulate General of the Republic of Indonesia in Houston. The Honorable Hideo Fukushima, Consulate General of Japan in Houston. The Honorable Myung-Soo An, Consulate General of the Republic of Korea. The Honorable Win Truc Ba, Consulate General of Vietnam in Houston. And Benjamin Su, Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Houston. And for those who will be speaking later in the luncheon, Mayor Sylvester Turner, the City of Houston. Is he here yet? I have not seen the mayor yet. Mario Diaz, the Houston Airport System. Rick Campo, Port of Houston Authority. Christopher Olson, the City of Houston. Jorge Franz. There we go. You guys brought some fans with you. And Jorge Franz, Houston First Corporation. There we go, everyone's looking alive now. You brought it up, Jorge, good for you. And as well as our past city officials, we have former Houston City Council member, Gordon Kwan. I just saw Gordon, there he is. And former Missouri City Council member, Danny Wynn. All right. So today we have an amazing lineup of information on how the City of Houston is supporting the economic growth of businesses both here in Texas and with our global trade partners abroad. Now, the Asian Chamber will also be celebrating our Rising 10 Awards in honoring our 10 recipients. Thank you. I should know how to do this. The Rising 10 Awards in honoring our 10 recipients at the second half of the program today, so please stay until the end of the luncheon to help celebrate that. Now, before we continue with the luncheon, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge and pay respects to the lives that we lost in the aftermath of September 11, 2001. If you can believe it, tomorrow is going to be the 20th anniversary of that, and so for now I ask that we take a brief moment of silence. Thank you. All right, at this point, I'd like to ask Bin Yu, the Asian Chamber of Commerce Board Chair, to open the luncheon with remarks from the Chamber. Bin.
Thanks so much, Natalie. Good morning or good afternoon. Everybody knows that we already have a good start this morning with 300 people attended a trade forum and also Business Expo. Now it's a sold out event, close to 400 people for the luncheon. So thank you everyone to come here to support us. And I want to say, dear Honorable Mayor is on the way to be here in a few minutes. And also the Honorable Consul Generals and the Directors of Airport System, Mario Diaz, Chairman of Port Houston, Rick Campo, Director of Trade and International Affairs, Chris Olson, Senior Vice President of Houston First, and also the Greater Houston Visitors Bureau President, George Franz, and the ACC members and the guests, welcome. Welcome to our business conference and this important event. Last time we had, like Natalie said, last time we had was a year and a half ago, and being a long time, but it's still great to see all the friends come together. First of all, I want to congratulate the Rising 10 recipients. You should be very proud of yourself. The pandemic brings so much challenges to the business owners, but for you, staying in course and still maintain the high growth is unbelievable. So congratulations. Everybody at that table. We want to thank you, Mayor Turner, and all the leadership team, and for your endless support for the Asian business communities. And I also want to thank you, Consul Generals, for your great session this morning and provide so many information about the trade opportunities for our members. And last but not least, we want to thank you, our great sponsors. Without you, the business conference and this event cannot happen. Thank you so much. You can see there on the background. Fostering economic and trade and business opportunities are always our top mission. In the past 2 years, even with pandemic, we delivered close to 100 business webinars throughout the 2020 and 21. Through the efforts, we helped 1,000 business owners receive their PPPs, loans, different relief funds from the county to the city and the federal as well. Among those business owners, over 95% received their PPPs. And in the recent restaurant RF relief funds, 30% of the top 50 restaurants received the award or get support from Asian Chamber of Commerce, with more than $20 million fund received. And also trade is always top priority for us. We held several trade seminars, and we plan to do more. We want to do more, 2 or 3 at least, trade mission trip to different countries, regions next year. The last but not least, each one you have this flyer on your table. This is the World Cup Table Tennis Championship in our hometown, Houston. This is unbelievable. I want everyone to hope they can support us. And the information there, and the Houston Sports Authority have the booth as well at the exhibition hall. And we need to make us proud and show them as a Houstonian, our welcome to them. Last, thank you very much, and enjoy the luncheon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you for all that you do in this community. For those of you who don't know, Ben has been, one of the great champions of really raising awareness for the Asian community here in Houston, particularly during the pandemic when Chinatown was really struggling with the businesses, when there were all these irrational fears of visiting Chinatown, the businesses there, as well as the anti-Asian hate crimes that came up during the pandemic. So Ben, Paul Gore, and of course Kenneth here, thank you guys for inviting me here to be with you today and for all the work that you do in the community. Mayor Sylvester Turner, I see you've arrived. Hello. Welcome. Up next, I want to turn your attention to our Trade Forum and Business Expo global sponsor, Bank of America. In providing remarks representing Bank of America is Ning Kang, Senior Portfolio Advisor at Merrill, a subsidiary of Bank of America. And working with over 15 years of experiences at Fortune 500 companies, Ning has provided advice and guidance on diverse wealth management issues, including retirement, liquidity, and philanthropy. Please welcome Ning Kang, Bank of America, in providing remarks.
All right, hello everyone. It's great we start shaking hands again. All right, good day everyone. My name is Ning Kong, and I'm a financial advisor with Merrill, a Bank of America company. And I have the distinct pleasure of serving on the board of the Asian Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of my 24,000 colleagues here in the Houston area, right, some of them are sitting here today, I'd like to see how privileged we are at Bank of America to be the global sponsor of this year's Asian Chamber of Commerce Business Conference. At Bank of America, we value all our differences in background, experience, of viewpoints such as socioeconomic status, race, national origin, religion, age, gender, sexual orientation, disabilities, and veteran status. We are stronger when we connect our diverse background and the perspectives to better meet the needs of our teammates, clients, and the communities. We are committed to investing in our Asian American communities by being a great place to work for our employees, supporting our clients, and being proactive in our neighborhoods while we live and work. In 2020, we saw intensified passion to address the obstacles to true racial equalities in the US. In response, we accelerated work already underway to announce a $1 billion four-year initiative. Since then, we increased that to $1.25 billion over 5 years to help advance racial equality and economic opportunities with a focus on 4 areas: jobs and reskilling the workforce, supporting minority small business owners, making home ownership and rental housing more affordable, addressing inequalities in health services. Earlier this year, we announced our minimum wage at $25 per hour by 2025, up from $20 per hour this year. And we will require our suppliers to pay a minimum of $15 per hour to their employees. We have hired more than 14,000 colleagues from low and moderate income communities since 2018, ahead of our goal of 10,000 by 2023. We have funded more than 492,000 PPP loans versus $35.5 billion. 99% of the loans were companies with less than 100 employees. In Houston, we funded 12,306 PPP loans worth $771 million. We have some colleagues from our small business banking and practice solutions who did most of the loans sitting here today. Really proud of your work. We're investing $1 million over 4 years in the University of Houston College of Medicine to help address the shortage of diverse primary care physicians throughout Texas. In light of recent attacks against Asian Americans, Bank of America announced in April this year an immediate $1 million commitment to support increased advocacy, dialogues, and engagement with the Asian American community. Here in Houston, the bank is contributing over $150,000 that includes support for the Chinese Community Center and Asia Society Texas, in addition to the continued long-standing support of the Asian Chamber of Commerce. This funding will help the organization's continued effort towards racial equality and cultural understanding. Earlier this year, or every year, Bank of America surveyed more than 1,000 small business owners across the country and the 10 major cities to understand their perspectives, aspirations, and concerns. The latest report, launched on May 11th, and explores entrepreneurs' views on business and economic outlook, competition for talent, coronavirus challenges and recovery, and the operational shifts and the transition to digital. This report is just one way in which we demonstrate our expertise on timely small business topics and trends. We will share the link to the Bank of America 2021 Small Business Owner Report with Paul Gore to share with you. And before we close, I'd like to invite you to consider Bank of America for your personal business banking and investing needs. We have over 100 locations in the Houston area, most with business specialists and financial advisors in each financial center. Business owners like you have shown us time and again during the pandemic that you are the resilient backbones of our community and throughout the country. Whether you have owned your business and operated for decades or just starting out, Bank of America is committed to helping provide you with the resources necessary to manage, sustain, and grow your business. We wish you and the Asian Chamber of Commerce much continued success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ning, and thank you, Bank of America, for your support and believing in the Asian Chamber of Commerce. You know, it's funny, I can't reiterate how strange it is to see so many people here at once. And it's almost, you know, I haven't done one of these MC events in more than a year or two. So seeing these speakers, passing them, and deciding if you shake your hand, do you elbow, do you give a hug? It's like we don't know how to behave anymore. Up next, let's turn over to Tony Beck, Vice President of External Affairs for Comcast's Houston region, with responsibility for governmental affairs, external communications, and community impact. Over 25 years in her career, she has led the development of some of the most innovative and effective engagements at a number of major North American-based companies. Would you please give your attention to Tony Beck with remarks.
Well, hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I didn't know whether I was going to be saying good morning or good afternoon, but it's a good afternoon. And as Natalie said, it's amazing to see everybody together and to see everybody gathered safely together here. So couldn't be more pleased to be with you today. And first of all, a very special congratulations to the 10 businesses being honored today. I know some of you are over here, and Paul tells me that others are scattered throughout the room, so congratulations. You know, you have all exhibited such amazing growth and excellence, and frankly, tenacity, in spite of the unparalleled challenges of a global pandemic. I am Tony Beck. I am Vice President of External Affairs for the Comcast business here in Houston, and so proud to work with the Asian Chamber of Commerce to sponsor the Rising 10 Awards. We certainly share the Chamber's commitment to empowering business growth and sustainability locally, and also connecting businesses globally. And I know that's a lot of what some of the conversations are that are taking place at this wonderful trade forum and expo today. And we certainly do live in a global economy where trade and business development occur across borders. But you know, I think everybody in this room would agree that even in that interconnected world, the real lifeblood of our communities are our small local businesses who create such important connections in our communities and form that foundation that help our city thrive both economically and socially. It feels like an understatement to say that we are navigating our way through completely uncharted waters, and the pandemic, the social unrest, and even the environmental events that we have seen all too often, witnessed or lived through, have really combined to form a trifecta of challenges that have hurt small businesses especially hard. And this year's theme, and you see it on the screen here, Rebound, Recover, Reengage, I think perfectly captures the spirit of business as the local economy, our country, and the international borders reopen and open up again for business. And as I thought about the theme, I actually thought that I would add a fourth element to that if I could. So rebound, recover, re-engage, and rise. And at Comcast, we believe we really are in the business of, thank you. We're in the business of facilitating connections and conversations so that individuals and businesses, like all of you here today, truly can rise. Because without the ability to connect, digital literacy and economic mobility are nearly impossible, and individuals, families, and businesses cannot rise to their full potential without it. And we do know that independent small businesses really are the backbone of our communities. And programs like this very Trade Forum and Expo, and programs like our homegrown Comcast Rise program that we are so proud of, we created it to offer practical support to small businesses that are so hard hit during and after the pandemic. And that program not only helps businesses in their efforts to rebound, re-engage, and recover, but also helps businesses rise to new heights. So in closing, thank you again. We are so proud to partner with the Asian Chamber of Commerce to recognize and celebrate the success of today's honorees. Know you'll have a terrific event. I had the opportunity to walk around and see the booths and the participants, and there was so much engagement and excitement and enthusiasm, and it was wonderful to see. So know you'll have a continued terrific event. Thank you again for including Comcast and for allowing us to be with you today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tony, and thank you for Comcast for supporting the Asian Chamber. A couple quick announcements before we move on to bring up Mayor Turner. In the back over here, I think, and maybe some of the other tables, we're all really excited to be together. We're a little chatty, so let's just remind everyone to be respectful of the speakers that are on the podium. And another announcement, there was a Bank of America bag that was left somewhere here. A woman's car keys was in there, and she's looking for them. So if anyone spots a Bank of America bag, the woman in blue in the back is looking for her car keys. She's trying to make a swift escape. So let's bring up Mayor Sylvester Turner. Good to see you. He's here to provide. It's always good to see you, Mayor Turner. He's here to provide some encouragement and, of course, re-engaging and moving past some of the biggest challenges that our city has faced over the last 18 months. Many of you know Mayor Turner, of course, and his efforts of leading the charge to making a better tomorrow for our businesses and our community here in Houston. I won't go over the background of his details. The details of his background, rather. I told you it's a little rusty, Mayor Turner, being up here. You can read that in the program booklet, so I want you to give your full, undivided attention now to Mayor Turner.
Thank you so very, very much, and it's good to be with everyone this afternoon. And I think this is the largest group that I've been to and spoken at in quite some time. And Rick Campo and I were just talking, we hadn't seen each other in person So we are gathering together in person at the Asian Chamber of Commerce Luncheon. To Ben Yu, to the chairman of the board, to all of the Consul General Corps, especially from Asia and I think Mexico as well. There are a number of, well, all of you are special. I certainly do want to acknowledge again Rick Campo, chairman of the Houston Port. If I may add, the #1 port in the country. Let me just add that. And then, of course, George Franz from Visit Houston, president there. Mario Diaz of the airport. 2 international airports within the geographical limits of the city. I think we may be, one of 6, Mario, in the world that can boast that. And then there's Chris Olson, Director of International Trade and Diplomacy with the City of Houston. And then I'm graciously here with the Mayor, Kenneth Lee, right there. That's the other mayor. We're sharing the same space today. But look, let me make my comments, and then I'm gonna sit down. You've got 10 companies that are getting awards. So you're the special guest, and quite frankly, the reason why I'm here. I do have to comment on listening to Bank of America, to the things that they were announcing. I like what you all are saying. You all need to come and see me. Come and visit with me. Get on my calendar. And then, of course, Comcast, we've been working with for a number of years, and I appreciate what they are doing. They need to come see me too. Look, I want to start by thanking the Asian Chamber of Commerce in Houston, which has been doing some fantastic work for our city and the Asian community in Houston for over 30 years. And I do want to start off by giving special thanks to the Asian Chamber of Commerce as we battle this pandemic. The Asian Chamber of Commerce and other organizations within the Asian community really stepped up to help their city. And I want to thank them for that. I also want to acknowledge all of the individuals who are here today, and some I've already mentioned. The Asian Chamber of Commerce in Houston works to address the needs of Houston's Asian population, which is the fastest growing population in Houston since the 1980s. The ACC serves as a bridge to increasing business with the Asian community both locally and abroad, and in connecting Asian countries with Houston and moving the overall economic prosperity of our city forward. Today's award ceremony exemplifies the important work that ACC does for the community of Houston by highlighting 10 Asian-owned businesses who have excelled over the past 3 years. This year's Asian Chamber Trade Forum and Business Expo theme is Rebound, Recover, and Reengage. And there is no better time for that to happen than right now. The last 2 years have been hard for all of us, financially and personally, and especially hard for the Asian community, which was the target of so much negative attention at the beginning of this pandemic. And let me say to all of the Asian Americans in this room, how proud I am to be your mayor, and proud of the fact that this community has stepped up time and time again and have handled so much criticism with the greatest degree of poise and dignity and respect. And for that, your city is so proud, and that's one of the reasons I was not going to miss being here today. The reality is, Houston's recovery is being driven in large part by the Asian community and by many of you in this room. With your help and support, Houston will continue to be a leader when it comes to engaging with the Asian region to help drive Houston's economic development. It is on all of us to ensure that we drive a just and equitable recovery that supports the critical needs of Houston's most vulnerable communities. As the mayor of this city, I have placed as a top priority tackling discrimination, safety for Asian businesses, supporting displaced workers, and addressing the inequity within our cities. Because in this city, we are all in this together. As the world emerges from the COVID-19 crisis, the global economy is at a critical juncture. Despite the obstacles, Houston has done a good job at diversifying its economy. We have infrastructure development, agriculture, logistics, manufacturing, healthcare and life sciences, energy, and both from renewables and conventional energy sources. And we are leading in the energy transition. With nearly 20% of the region's economy tied to exports, trade is an important topic for our region, and Asia is critical to our economic development, with exports to the Asian region valued at more than $41 billion. We welcome visitors from around the world for both business and tourism. We have the largest port in the United States for foreign tonnage and 2 world-class international airports that are already ready to support travel of all kinds, both for work as well as for pleasure. And finally, so despite the current challenges, we all need to re-engage, innovate, and expand business. And I want to thank you for taking part in this unique opportunity to learn more about how Houston is ready to take advantage of opportunities in Asia and with our neighbors in Mexico. I want to conclude by saying that it is my distinct honor to represent the most diverse city in America. And I personally want to thank the Asian Chamber of Commerce and the Asian community for helping this city to be dynamic and vibrant. And the good news is because of Asian Americans in our city, the best for our city has yet to come. And I want you to know that you are appreciated, valued, and respected. And the growth of our city in large part is tied to the Asian community. So go the Asian Americans in our city. So we'll go the city of Houston. Thank you so very much. Now, and Ben, if you will join me. I have 2 more years to do this. I'm going to maximize every single minute of it. Let me present this to Ben Yu as chairman of the board. Whereas the Asian Chamber of Commerce was founded on June 20th, 1990, to promote economic development in the Asian and Asian American community in Houston, it provides access to resources, connections to people and companies, and communicates business opportunities. And whereas on September 10, 2021, the Asian Chamber of Commerce in Houston will celebrate and recognize Asian and Asian American entrepreneurs and business leaders that have had a significant impact in the community at its Rising 10 Awards Luncheon. And whereas Houston is proud to be a city of rich diversity and robust economic opportunities, Houston has been enriched by the presence of the Asian Chamber of Commerce and is appreciative of its work. The city of Houston is pleased to congratulate and commend the Asian Chamber of Commerce on this very special occasion and extends its best wishes for a successful event. Therefore, I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proudly proclaim this day, September 10, 2021, as Asian Chamber of Commerce Day in the city of Houston. Congratulations.
Can we quickly get the Rising 10 recipients to come up? We want to take a picture with Mayor Sylvester Turner. Make your way over. Let's go.
Thank you. It's a good crowd.
Everybody push back and forth. Can we roll this over to the side?
Kenneth.
Please take your seat as we continue with the program.
All right, last photo. Let's have everyone sit back down. I know it's exciting to see Mayor Turner in person. He's a bit of a celebrity. But let's try to get through the rest of this. The good news is your food is about served, so you can finish up with your salads, your teas or coffees, and your food will be served shortly. Mayor Sylvester Turner, thank you again. If everyone could please take their seats and try to get back to our little quiet moment that we did. We did so good earlier listening to Mayor Turner speak. All right. Okay. So let's transition now to our next speaker, who works closely with Mayor Sylvester Turner. He's the Director of Trade and International Affairs for the City of Houston, Christopher Olson. His role is to lead the city's international business development efforts, as well as engagement with foreign governments and international organizations. With a colorful background as a U.S. diplomat, business consultant, and former military officer, please welcome to the stage Christopher Olson to share insights on how the city to support your business.
Ladies and gentlemen, please lower your voice as you have Christopher Olson speak. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I always say that the absolute hardest place to be in any program is following Mayor Turner. So I will do my best. But thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. And I'm just going to start by thanking Mayor Turner for your leadership and your continuing commitment to promote Houston as a great international city. As you all know, we live in a fantastic place to be doing and looking international. And Mayor, it's largely under your leadership over the last 5-6 years that we have really accelerated and grown Houston on an international stage much more. I also want to thank the Asian Chamber of Commerce for all they've done and continue to do to support Houston, not only the Asian community in the Houston region, but as the Mayor said, for all Houstonians. This was never more evident, as the Mayor mentioned, during the COVID pandemic, with opportunities the Asian Chamber did in delivering food to City of Houston employees, of helping promote the Chinatown district and the kinds of Asian restaurants and businesses that we all can help support. So I'm up here to talk about trade. And as all you all know, trade is one of those critical pieces for growing and developing Houston's economy. As the Mayor mentioned, about 20% of our economy is directly tied to trade. 32% of that is with Asia in imports, 34% in exports, and our total trade value with Asia is valued right now at $70 billion. which is an enormous part of our trade infrastructure. Of this trade, 6 of our top 20 trading partners are in Asia, which is led by China and South Korea, but includes India, Japan, Taiwan, and Singapore. But trade is certainly not limited to these 6 countries, and Houston has trade relationships with more than 200 countries around the world, and nearly every single country in the Asian region. Among the top 10 traded items, petroleum, manufactured equipment, computers, chemicals, iron and steel, plastics, and vehicles. And while I do not have specific numbers for the foreign direct investment that's come into Houston, as all of you in this room see and know, and we all see is when we go around Houston, the foreign direct investment into our region is high and growing, and a very large percentage of that is coming from the Asian region. And this is one of the areas where my office can really help and play. As many of you know, and as was noted in the introduction, I serve as Mayor Turner's Foreign Minister and Trade Minister for the city, helping try to attract foreign direct investment into the city of Houston, and also try to help Houston area companies export into foreign markets. We're looking at many different sectors in Houston simultaneously. Yes, we are still the energy capital of the world, and we are still building our energy infrastructure, both, as the mayor noted, with conventional oil and gas, but also really growing Houston into the next energy ecosystem for new, clean, and renewable energies as Houston continues to lead the energy transition. We're also building aerospace. We're building our medical center, with the largest medical center in the world, and we continue to grow in biomedical engineering. We're growing our advanced manufacturing sector, and we're growing our logistics sector. This audience very well knows Houston's value proposition. Our local market, our people, our culture. And for foreign investors, these are all important aspects. But they're combined with Houston not only being a gateway for trade into the United States, but also being as a gateway into the rest of Americas, and access to the expanding markets in Mexico, Central, and South America. The region's investment in transportation is probably one of the largest parts of this, showcasing how our local infrastructure development can impact Houston's ability to grow as an international trading hub. The investment that's been made in our Port of Houston, in our airports, in our roads, and the rail systems all provide that multiplying effect to make Houston really the best place in the United States for international trade. In my other role of supporting Houston companies that are looking to do export, you've heard earlier that some of our primary partners that were here speaking today, including the U.S. Commercial Service, the XM Bank, and many others that play critical roles in supporting our activities. The Commercial Service helps companies that are looking to enter new markets overseas, both with their general database service as well as their customized services they can provide. And having worked in embassies all around the world, I can honestly and personally say there's no better service you're going to find anywhere in the world than communicating with that commercial service officer in the country you're looking to enter to provide help and service. We also have a small business administration that is providing and having now an export arm that is fully focused on providing small businesses access to capital and consulting services to be able to grow their small business. In this spring, my office launched for the very first time an export training program in conjunction with the Small Business Development Council, where we online put a training curriculum together to help educate small businesses on how to export. And if they decide to export, what are the resources and opportunities that are available? But finally, really, the best resource for those that are looking to engage in international trade, whether it's on finance, whether it's on guidance of whether you have a market, whether you have a product, is all of the people that are sitting in this room. The top 10 that are going to be honored today, the successful business people that are in this room that have gone through the challenges that all business owners face, and they've found ways to overcome them. That is the people that are in this room. That is the value of the Asian Chamber, and those are the kinds of resources that are at your fingertips that are here. And that's really an important point, because it's the small businesses in Houston that are really the engine of our economic growth. They are the ones that are going to create jobs and create the most economic opportunity. About 97% of all the businesses in Houston have less than 100 employees, and 70% of those have less than 10 employees. Empowering these small businesses and empowering organizations like the Asian Chamber of Commerce to be able to affect that change, to help those small businesses grow, is going to be the power that drives Houston's economic growth now and into the future. So with that, again, I'm just going to highlight two of the major trade trends that we see. As you have all heard, and these are opportunities for you both across the Houston region and internationally. One of those is supply chains and changing supply chains, moving across the different marketplaces, oftentimes out of one country but into multiple countries to be able to create that resilience in the supply chain. And the other is what's called nearshoring, which is essentially dividing up that supply chain, bringing parts of it closer to home and keeping parts of it international in different marketplaces, again, to build that resiliency. Houston is excellently placed to be able to take advantage of both of those. And if you have questions, I'll be happy to address individual questions and concerns as we go along. Again, I want to just greatly thank all of you at the Asian Chamber of Commerce that have done this amazing event today, honoring the 10 recipients later today, but really everything you do to empower the business community in Houston and the entire business community in Houston to grow and prosper. We'll hear a little bit from the port, the airports, and our tourism industry, just to show that broad cross-section of international reach we have. Mayor Turner, thank you again for your leadership in international affairs and international business development. And finally, to the Asian Chamber for everything you're doing to help grow Houston's economy. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Christopher. We've shifted over to the left side of the stage, so it's great news for you guys on this side. Once again, I know we have food. We're excited to eat and be together, but another friendly reminder to please be respectful of the speakers who come up here. They've worked very hard on their speeches and preparing for today, so please, let's give them a little bit of attention when they're on the stage. Up next, let's bring up Jorge Franz. He's a Senior Vice President of Tourism and Industry Relations for the Houston First Corporation and President of the Greater Houston Convention and Visitors Bureau. He leads his team to provide various initiatives in helping promote Houston to potential visitors and deliver value with the 700 plus members who represent Houston's hospitality sector. You are in for a treat as we bring Jorge to the stage.
All right, thank you very much. Certainly appreciate it. It's a great honor to be here in front of you again. I'm in the meetings industry, so obviously it's great to see everybody here together, right? I want to thank Mayor Turner for the wonderful opportunity. I want to thank Paul for putting together an amazing event. Just because I know you didn't get enough of them, I'm going to show you a quick video because I know that everybody in here is out there promoting Houston to the best of their abilities, but just in case we haven't been doing it, in case we're a little rusty, check out the video. Well, while they get that moving then, I think we may have to...
I'm Mayor Sylvester Turner. Welcome to Houston, a city that inspires. Come visit us and find out what the...
All right. Now that's more like it, right? So we're all in the business of promoting our businesses, but we're all in the business of promoting Houston. And I'm super excited to be here with you today on behalf of the Houston First Corporation, the official destination management organization for the city. I'd also like to acknowledge former chairman of the board, Campo, for being here, who guided us through the years to bring us on to the great city that we are today with a major Super Bowl and so forth. As you can see, this is who we are as a company. If we could move it to the next slide, please. My clicker's not working. You know, I used to get a lot of laughs about this, but you know, the truth is that Houston is now more than ever a leisure destination, right? We have been in the business of promoting meetings and conventions for many years. But in 2019, before the pandemic hit, we were at over 24 million visitors in our city that generated an economic impact of more than $392 million to the city. Next slide, please. You know, I get asked the question all the time, why Houston, right? But the truth is, we've got an amazing convention center, 2 major hotels attached to that convention center, 9,000 hotels in downtown, but 90,000 hotel rooms located around the city. That is enough to rival any major city in the country, and we are continuing to do the hard work. I want to commend Harry Greenblatt, who is the managing director here at the Marriott West Chase. He's sitting in the back, standing up down there. You know, the hotel industry has been hit very hard over these past few years, especially during the pandemic, and it is important that we continue to support this industry and that we continue to encourage people to meet. Next slide, please. Additionally, we don't often talk about Houston as a leisure destination, but the truth is that the offering of leisure opportunities has never been better. Whether it be the new Kinder building at the Museum of Fine Arts, the Theater District, the renovations that have happened at Space Center Houston. Next slide, please. The largest rodeo in the world, our institutions of higher learning. All of these are reasons that people come to Houston, but they're also the same reasons that we all live in Houston. And it's important that we all spend time to promote and talk about those things at the same time that we promote our businesses and our interests. Next slide, please. COVID-19 obviously hit us very strongly. We had to make a major shift focusing on regional promotion. You may have heard the term staycation. I will tell you that for the first time in Houston's history, we have more leisure visitors to Houston than we do actual business travelers. Of course, we want to bring back the business travel. That's the most important thing. But in the meantime, we've really started to focus on whatever we can to drive business to the city. And things are looking very, very strong for 2022. I will tell you that even later this year, we are so proud to host the World Table Tennis Championship November 21st to the 29th right here in Houston. What a major international event to bring into our city. Thank you. Next slide, please. You know, we've been in the business of promoting internationally for quite some time. You know, we have an office in Taipei that promotes us in Asia Pacific. Mr. Leo Yao is located here. He's our rep there. We have offices throughout the world. We work with airlines. We work with the Houston airport system, and we will continue to do that work to attract visitors into our city. Next slide. In terms of international promotion, in case you were ever wondering, those are the top 5 markets for Houston. I know that the Consul General's office is here today from Mexico. Mexico drives visitation to Houston, leisure visitation with more than 2.4 million visitors. But as you can see, China and India have actually become top 5 markets for Houston, and we are looking to continue to grow those. Next slide, please. Additionally, I can tell you that in 21, India moved to the 4th position. That is in no small part thanks to our friend Jagdeep Ahluwalia from the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. I also want to thank the Consul General of India for being here. What an amazing accomplishment. Next slide, please. I can also tell you that the top inbound international markets for Houston are what you see here. Obviously, India and China are a huge focus, but look, South Korea, Japan, Singapore, all driving growth into Houston from a business perspective and from a leisure perspective. Next slide. Now, I will tell you, things have been tough, but we know that travel is starting to return. 2022 looks very, very strong. In terms of the meeting sector, we are expecting a full recovery back to 2019 numbers from the Asian markets, 24 to 25, but with steady, slow growth. I will tell you that we firmly believe that virtual will never replace in-person meetings. So let's stick together. Let's continue to push meetings. If you have a company here in Houston or a member of an association, make sure that you think Houston when you think about where to take your next meeting, right? Let's support each other. Let's support our city. If you want to connect with us, you can connect at the next slide here. at all of these fantastic places on social media. And if you want to connect with Houston First as a business, please contact Roger Harris. We are truly interested in diversity at Houston First. Roger, if you're here, please stand up. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Jorge, thank you for that, and that video was awesome. It's very exciting to see Houston and all the highlights that we have to offer here in this wonderful city. Now, many of you who've previously traveled before the pandemic, you've probably stepped inside one of our 3 airports and have also seen recent news about the future of spaceport being developed for travel. Leading the Houston airport system is Director of Aviation, Mario Diaz. He is one of the industry's leading authorities in the study of future developments in commercial aviation and how it impacts you as a customer and your business. Mario has a very impressive background in his bio. I'll let him talk about it. And the Houston airport system is doing to support tourism, trade, and the various cargo coming into our city. Please welcome Mario Diaz.
Thank you for that fine introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Fantastic. Mayor Turner, Mr. Yu and the Asian Chamber of Commerce, distinguished members of the Council of Corps that are here with us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I am just delighted to be here this afternoon to share with you where we are with the Houston airport system and how the COVID-19, the disruption to the world economy has impacted travel and trade through the Houston airport system. Now, I have to tell you that there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to present to you today, and I've only been given 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with these threads, these ideas at the very high level, but I'm certainly happy after the presentation or outside to answer any questions that I'm certain will arise. Next slide, please. When we think about the Houston airport system, I want to reintroduce you to it, but I want to start from the perspective of the city. And at the level of the city, the purpose, the mission of the Houston airport system is, of course, to increase the economy, to grow the economy or help to grow the economy of Houston. We do that through economic development and the sustainability and the growth of jobs, good paying jobs that drive our economy. But at the level of the airport, that is at the level of the Houston airport system, our number one purpose for existence or the way that we go about meeting the needs of the city of Houston in terms of the impact that we make for the economy is to connect the people, the businesses, the cultures, and the economies of the city of Houston. We have a vision that we want to share with you today for how we do that, and it is to become a 5-star global air service gateway where the magic of flight is celebrated. And that means that as a culture, the organization has to be customer-centric. It has to be customer-focused in everything that we do, everything that we think about, investing in operations, and every way that the airport system impacts the passengers, when you do travel through the airport. Next slide, please. Now, we, as an airport, we're enterprise fund of the city of Houston. We operate 3 airports, as you know. George Bush Intercontinental is the long-haul, full-service transcontinental airport for this region. We have Hobby, that in 2015 became the 2nd international airport, and as the mayor said, we are one of 5 or 6 cities around the world that can boast, and only 2 cities in the United States. In 2020, we handled about 24.7 million. That was about 40% of the traffic that we handled in 2019. This year, we expect to do 44 million passengers, or about 66% of the 2019 traffic, which is about 60 million passengers. And as it concerns the impact, economic impact, remember that's what we're about, we contribute about $36 billion to the economy of Houston on an annual basis. Next slide, please. As we move to our ambition to become a 5-star global air service gateway, there we are. As we move to our mission to become a 5-star global air service gateway, we take small steps every year. And with every year passing, we get a little bit better. And we're acknowledged for those things. Have any of you recently visited Hobby? Have you seen the new floors? Have you seen the new bathrooms? Have you seen the new kids' play area? Have you seen the new lighting? Have you seen the new rest areas? Those are making a difference. And there's more to come at Hobby, but certainly in Bush Intercontinental, it's also made tremendous. Because remember, when we think about travel as an airport system, the fundamental foundation for that has got to be safety. Safety is first. And safety used to mean protection against weather events, protection against maybe people that come in and want to do harm, protection even against terrorism. But today we must think about protection against things like COVID-19 and pandemics. And they're real. And so what we have done is, you can see there, we have been cited as one of the cleanest airports in the United States. We take it seriously. And by the way, these awards are the pure product, the efforts of the people of the Houston airport system. And I really want to really shout out, because they're the ones that do it. I simply lead the group, but they're the ones that produce it. They're the ones that are on the front line day in, day out. And so I salute the 1,300 men and women of the Houston airport system. Next. Next slide, please. So let's talk about travel and what has happened. As you can see in these 4 bars, we start with April of 2020 and compare it to 2019, and we go all the way through July. And as you can see, in the first bar, we were at, in 2020, in April of 2020, we were just doing 5%, just 5% of the 2019 traffic. This year, we're doing about 81% of the traffic. And we have slowly, steadily climbed to the point where in July, we were about 91% of the 2019 traffic. But the numbers are misleading in a certain important sense. As George has pointed out, much of that traffic, about all of that traffic, is just leisure. It is just pent-up leisure demand. The business traveler is not back, and certainly international traffic is not back. And so we are waiting for international and business travel to return. And if we can maintain the level of leisure travel, we will be off to a phenomenal start. Now, there are caveats to that. Analysts had been talking about us getting back to 2019 levels by 2024, but that was based on the assumption of the COVID alpha variant. We now have the COVID delta variant. And so this may take a little more time. Why? Because every nation in this world, the race is on. The race to where? The race to get to herd immunity. With the alpha variant, whatever cluster or population you had to reach about 70% of the population to get to herd immunity. But with the COVID-19 or the COVID delta variant, you got to get to 85 to 90%. It's a little higher hurdle. And how many countries, major economies, do you think in the world today are at 70% or higher? Just 10. And the United States is not one of them. So we've got a little ways to go to create these bubbles, because once you surpass the 70%, you create a bubble for your country. What does it mean? It means that it becomes a safe place to travel, safe place to do business, safe place to relax, safe place to enjoy. And so we need, as a nation first, to get to that level, to welcome people in, whether they're from Europe or Canada or Asia, Africa, the Middle East, Australasia, and certainly Latin America. And by the way, when you think about international traffic right now, it is principally Latin America. Mexico in particular, 67% of the international traffic that we're conducting today, and most of this is through United, is to and from Latin America. And why? Next slide. You have carriers that international carriers that, as you can see, the international traffic has not returned. We have these carriers that some are doing pretty well, and some have not reopened. Among the ones that are doing well, for example, Spirit, low cost, a very, very important distinction and a trend in the airline business. Low cost is going to be very, very popular and very, very a growth sector in the airline business. International traffic, on the other hand, because of the constraints that have been imposed by many, many countries. And next slide, please. Let me just speak to that. And as you can see, Air China and Singapore have not returned. They're two of the four that I mentioned earlier. And yet, there are signs. I spoke to a gentleman from All Nippon Airways. Since October of last year, they've been doing double dailies to Japan. Cargo as well. And so the cargo business and the passenger business has been okay, but the cargo business has been very, very good. Next slide. So let me just talk a little bit about the layout of the world. You can take countries, you can put them in one of three categories. These are countries that are fully open, no restrictions, just come in, from the United States, that is, just come in from the United States and they're fully open. 4 of those countries are in Latin America. 1 is in Europe, that's Belgium. That's it. The next category are what we say are open with restrictions. Now these restrictions can be anything from you have to get a PCR test 72 hours in advance before you get on the aircraft, to a PCR test plus being isolated when you get to the country. Sometimes if you are vaccinated, you have a PCR test, maybe 4 or 5 days. If not, maybe 2 weeks. To the point where countries won't allow you to come in, and these are the third category, which are the countries that are closed. And I think on the next slide, you see that. The red are countries that are closed, the yellows are countries that are restricted, and the green, the very, very few countries that are green, are the ones that are fully open. What we want to go, where we want to get to, is that entire map returns to green, so that we can resume the normal day-to-day trading, the normal day-to-day visitors for leisure and family and relatives, and students and medical travel can all return to normal. Next slide, please. So cargo, that's a pretty good, not bad, but next slide, just to show you cargo. So many airlines, when they realized that they couldn't fill the upper part of the aircraft, decided that they would just put cargo in the belly and they would start flying cargo around the world. Well, remember that this is not an isolated event, this COVID-19 pandemic. It is a world event. And what happened is that manufacturing around the world slowed down. So there were less products and goods to be transported, whether by ship or whether by airplanes. And remember, airplanes, the 2 criteria that you must meet to carry goods on an airplane is just in time. You need something, you need it tomorrow, you need it immediately, or it's of high value. You don't want something of high value floating on a ship or on a train or on trucks from point to point. Next slide. And let me just finish this presentation by just sharing with you some of the new things that are happening, or that continue to happen, I should say, at the Houston Airport System. And I would start, next slide, with the International Terminal. As you can see from these slides, we never stopped. We continued full steam ahead with the construction of the International Terminal. I am so glad we've done with the support of the mayor. In December of next year, we hope to have what you see in the upper right-hand corner, that's the new D West Pier, open. It is going to be stunningly beautiful. I think when this international terminal is completed, it will be a terminal that really meets the needs and distinguishes Houston from the rest of the cities across the country in the sense and from the perspective of passengers as they come to the city and they recognize that the Houston is truly a world international city. As you can see in the next slides, the canopy on the entry, the oval in the front lobby of the airport, the new ticket counters, and of course the new ticketing hall, which when it opens will be one of the largest in the United States. Next slide. We will, however, need to inconvenience passengers as we get out there and we start ripping up the roads. Some of you may have experienced this yourself over the last month or two. The good news is that we're out of the roadways. The roadways have been rebuilt, so they've been opened back up. But we will start taking down the DE parking garage in December, and you'll see more and more need to move passengers around from one side of the building to the other. So it's going to be a step-by-step process. But I can tell you, there is no better time to be doing this than now, because as I say, if we're going to get back to 2019 levels by 2024, this terminal will be ready. And what does it mean? It means that we're going to be increasing the number of international gates from 7 wide-body to 13. We're almost going to be doubling the number of international wide-body gates, and that means that we'll be looking for more international carriers as soon as this pandemic settles down, as soon as the world economy comes roaring back, and we're able to get out there and talk to more CEOs. And I can tell you, George and I have been on many missions together, doing barbecue and rodeo presentations around the world, and it really does strike a chord with people around the world, and it's why I think we have become so very successful in bringing the airlines, the international airlines that we have. And so with that, I thank you for having me here this afternoon, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Mario. This is a bit of a tough crowd here. I think we're gonna really have to work on our inside voices maybe, and once again, reiterating to please pay attention to the speakers. We have one more before we get to the Rising 10. And really, like, I don't know what part of the room it is, but we really want you to pay attention. They've worked very hard on preparing for their speeches. This is important information. It's very exciting that travel is coming back. For those of you who traveled during Labor Day, all the exciting news that's happening at our airports and travel. So please bear with us for one more speaker, okay? So our last speaker is Rick Campo, Chairman of the Port Commission of the Port of Houston Authority. He also serves as Chairman and CEO of Camden Property Trust and previous Chairman of Houston First Corporation. Port Houston is one of the busiest ports of entry in the U.S. and gateway for many of our goods we find in our everyday lives. I am sure what Mr. Campo will share will help you better understand the impact it has on our economy. Would you please join me in welcoming Rick Campo, Chairman of the Port of Houston Authority.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know I'm the last person standing in between you and the awards, so I will try to be quicker than I was planning on. But first of all, I want to thank the Asian Chamber, all the team for bringing this group together and bringing everybody together. This is my first time in front of a crowd other than a computer crowd, and so it's really awesome to be with you today. Mayor, thank you so much for the call you made in 2018 asking me to be involved in the Port of Houston. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun and a lot of hard work, but it's great. So go to the next slide, please. So I think it's important to know, you know about the port, but everybody really doesn't know what the port does. The port is a big, broad channel, right? 52 miles from the ocean to the port, ultimately to the top of the turning basin. And Port Houston does two things. We run the container terminals and 8 terminals out of 200 that are in the port. The other terminals that the port doesn't run are private businesses. And so that's what we do. And then the second thing we do is we're the non-federal sponsor of the channel, which means that we partner with the federal government, and we then put capital in and work with them to maintain and deepen and widen the channel from time to time. And that's all we do. Now, the federal government controls and owns the channel. The Corps of Engineers, the Coast Guard, they're the ultimate arbiter on things that go on in the channel. So the port is really about being a partner with the federal government. When you think about the port, what it really is, it's about economic development. It's about jobs, period, end of story. Without the port, we wouldn't have the jobs that we have here in Houston. And that's really important, and I'll go through some numbers on that in a minute. You can flip to the next slide. Actually, go 2 slides forward. You don't want to see a picture of me for sure. So when you think about this economic development issue, we're talking about 1.35 million jobs locally, 3.2 million nationally, $339 billion of economic development or economic activity in the state. And by the way, that's 20% of the state GDP is from the Port of Houston. So when you think about that, that is massive, and the port is such an important pillar of our economy in terms of jobs, and $800 billion nationally. Go ahead and next slide, please. And we all know that Houston is the energy capital of the world, and we say that and it just rolls off our tongues, right? Because we know it is. But when you think about this energy complex, it's 500 million barrels of storage capacity in pipelines and refineries and things. 74% of all the cargo is liquid, which means that we're exporting a ton of energy and a ton of products that get manufactured and brought back to Houston. And so it's more than just storage and moving energy in and out. It's really about a marketplace, a global marketplace. And for those of you who don't understand how the energy business works, a barrel of oil, when it comes out of an oil well in West Texas and comes down through the pipelines, changes hands all the time. They're buying and selling that oil all the time. And in order to have a marketplace which creates jobs and commerce, you need to have that oil storage and the oil situation. So it's a really interesting part of the equation when you think about it. Next slide, please. One of the most important things about Port Houston is being a good steward to the environment. And we're the first port in, we okay here? No. We're the first port in America to go to 100% renewable energy. We're buying electric vehicles, electric terminals. Our carbon footprint we've reduced by 55% since 2016. And so we are a good steward of the economy. Now, I know we are the energy, or when you think about environment. The bottom line when you get down to it, though, is that we still need to do more. And that's really important. And we're doing more than we have to right now. We're in compliance with every agency from an environmental perspective, but we all need to do more. There's no question about that. Next slide, please. One of the really important things that Mayor Turner really was one of the sort of the spark plugs to get this done was our new business equity division. We had an incredible small business department that created over $650 million of contracts that went out to small businesses. And now we've expanded that into an SMWBE program, which is our new business equity program. That's headed by our new chief, Maxine Buckles. And we're really excited about having Maxine. Maxine's here. Aren't you here today, Maxine? They're over there. Maxine has a big job. So we're talking about small business MWB program. So if you're a small business and an MWB program, Maxine's over there. Give her your card. We are committed to a 30% participation. And we're going to continue our small business program too. The port is really open to new business and new opportunities, and this is going to really help us do that. Next slide, please. In 2020, we surpassed 3 million TEUs. A TEU is a 20-foot equivalent units to the box, right? That the products are put in. Next slide, please. People often wonder what do we send out and what comes in. When you look at what we import, this slide shows what we import, and then the right side of the slide shows what we export. And one of my favorite lines on that is automotive. 155,000 TEUs in automotives. And you go like, what kind of automotive stuff do they do? We export Teslas to Europe. They get made in California, shipped over here on a train or a truck, and then put in a container, and then we send them to Europe. So we have a high-tech business here with Tesla. Next slide, please. In 2021, our TEUs are up 15% right now through July. And that's the highest amount of containers that we've been able to get in the history of the port, and it continues to grow. Next slide, please. And here's where they're coming from. To George's and Mario's point, a lot of East Asian, Europe, Latin America, Indian subcontinent, when you look at where products are coming and going. It's a very diverse portfolio, and we're getting a lot more Asian business because of the backup in Long Beach and LA. There are 43 ships backed up in their channel right now to get in, and they're having to sit for weeks with their products and not been able to get them out. And what they're doing now is figuring out that you can go through the Panama Canal and get here just as efficiently. And we have 2 new Asian services that came in over the last 4 or 5 months, and that is going to continue, I think, for sure. When you look at port, go for the next one, please. The bulk of a port's business is containers. 69%. The rest of it is bulk, steel, and sort of other general cargo. And this, of course, is only Port Houston. It's not the other 200 terminals that are actually out there employing all the folks. Next slide, please. So our total tonnage is up 2% from July from last year. And even last year was one of the highest years we've ever had. One of the most important parts of economic development is making sure that we're investing in infrastructure so that infrastructure can allow us to grow. If you can't keep up with your infrastructure, like the airport is investing all this money, you've got to, you're not going to grow. And when you don't grow, that means your job slows. And the people that we want to employ, those young people coming out of colleges and out of high schools and trade schools, won't get jobs. So we'll go to the next slide, please. So one of the most important things we're doing today is Project 11, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but the port folks love this, the no channel, no port, no cargo, no commerce, no jobs, right? So when you go to the next slide, Project 11 is very exciting. That's the 11th time since 1914 that the Port of Houston has been deepened and widened. And we are working on that right now. We're going to widen it from 530 feet in the Bay Reach part of the channel to 700 feet, and this should be completed by 2026. We actually will have a lot of the Bay Reach completed by 2023, which will be pretty amazing when you think about that. Usually a project like this takes 15 years from when you start thinking about it to getting it done, and that's because it's a federal waterway. This year we were able to get these acronyms are here, WRDA, which is a Water Resource Development Act. It got passed through Congress last December. We got a new start with the Corps of Engineers in January, and then we negotiated and completed our project agreement with the Corps of Engineers in July. We are now out for bids on the first leg of the dredging. We should let that contract in October and begin construction on this project in December. It's a $1 billion public-private partnership, and one of the things that attracted me to the port when Mayor Turner called me and twisted my arm to go over there was that the port is incredibly financially strong. And with our private partners and the federal government, we have the money to build this without any trouble. And so that's just, it's a testament to the resiliency and the sort of can-do attitude that Houstonians have had forever, which is, when you think about it, Houston's 52 miles from the ocean. That's a long way, right? And when you think about the Galveston Bay, its average depth is 8 feet. And so we have a 45-foot deep road for ships to go through Galveston Bay to get up into the channel so that we can create jobs for people and bring products. Everything that you're probably on your table today and things that you're wearing came in a container. And so we know that in order for us to drive our economy, to create jobs long-term, to create a vibrant and great future for Houston, we need deeper, wider, safer. We need it now. We're doing it, and I want to thank you for all your support, Mayor, and for everything you've done. And thank you very much.
right. It is the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to get to the awards, the Rising 10 Awards. So these are successful companies in the greater Houston area that are at least 50% owned by Asian Americans. Headquartered in the United States, have been in operation for the last 3 years, and with an annual revenue of at least $250,000 in 2018, 2019, or 2020. Their financial data were submitted and independently audited by Briggs and Valeska Company. Each was reviewed not only financially, but market share growth, workforce employee count, as well as how they've impacted the community here in Houston. The Chamber received many qualified applications as this year's nominations were competitive, with many companies experiencing substantial growth and development over the past 3 years. Now, before we award our 2021 recipients, the Chamber would like to recognize Comcast as the underwriting sponsors for the Rising 10 presentation we'll have today. Let's give a round of applause for them. All right. So as I announce the names, we're going to have a video of the companies and the descriptions. Their bios are listed in the program booklet that you have at your table, so please take a look at that if you want to learn a bit more about these companies. So first up, we have A1 Mortgage Group.
My name is Jo Bei, and I am a co-owner of A1 Mortgage. I graduated from Sophia University of Japan, and I got a degree in international relations. This company, A1 Mortgage, was established in 2007. We took over the business, and over around 3 years of hard working, we tripled the business and we tripled employee. We have an office here, which is in Pearland, and also we adding new offices, and we are now licensed to 7 different states. We are on track for our kind of the model we have is to adding new loan officers every periodically, so that we can expand our business that way. And also we are trying to get more involved with other states. So I really learned a lot from my experience living in Japan and working there. So I think the way to success is to provide the best service you could.
All right, congratulations, A1 Mortgage Group. Next, we have Break Time Corner Market.
Hi, this is Umair Bashir. I was born in Karachi, Pakistan. Me and my family moved as immigrants 21 years ago for a better future and for a better prospectus of life. The first semester I did in Houston Community College, and soon I decided it was not what I wanted to do. I want to be an entrepreneur and want to start up my own business. I worked very hard. Our whole family saved every penny we had to buy our first convenience store in Houston, Texas. First store was a success, and from there we worked so hard, where we expanded to our second location within the first 8 months, then the third, then the fourth, and currently we run over 150 gas stations in different states. We have plans to add another 200 gas stations in the next 3 years. And we are expanding the footprint of retail business and service business, which is gas station, which is our bread and butter. Customer service is the most key important factor in the business. and our customers are happy when they come to our stores and they have a great experience.
All right, congratulations. Break time corner market, y'all. Up next, we have Builders Direct Depot.
My name is Chung Kung. I am the owner of Builders Direct Depot. I graduated from LSU in X-ray. And so I did that. It didn't really work out for me. I had an entrepreneurial spirit. I have a family history of importing and exporting over quite a bit of time. We started with coffee, and finally I met up with quite a few people, with my co-founder and whatnot, and we started launching Builders Direct Depot. So we focus on commercial building supplies for interior build-out for hospitality, multifamily, assisted living, and student housing. So we found a niche into the business where a lot of the construction aspects were being delayed. So what we did was we housed everything in-house, from consulting, from designing, to procuring, to manufacturing, logistics, and installation, all under one house. And that made us extremely successful because that shortens the lead time of construction, which a lot of developers find difficult. So the pandemic was a pretty hard time for us. We had to focus on what was really trending at the time for the pandemic. So we pivot and we directed our focus towards a multifamily, and we thrived there.
Congratulations, Builders Direct Depot. Our fourth recipient is Burger Chon, LLC.
My name is Diane, full name Diane Wu Fang. I am the co-owner of Burger Chon.
And I'm Willett Fang, and I'm the chef owner. So the restaurant basically started because of an opportunity that we had at Greenway Plaza. I got introduced to a space by some friends, and Chan, which is a Japanese diminutive suffix, that is really hard to say, and it basically means something that's small or cute.
Greenway Plaza had an underground food court, and we were an amenity. So Monday through Friday, we were serving this built-in clientele of office workers. And then when March hit, our business pretty much went from 100 to 0 overnight. There was that stay-at-home order, and for 2 weeks we were closed. But I wanted to keep our staff employed. I wanted to kind of keep our business up and running, so we did reopen, and we reopened to basically 20% of our normal sales. By the end of August, we preemptively made the decision to close the Greenway location. It was a hard decision.
Our new location will be located near the Galleria Mall.
Hoping that more Houstonians who are interested in Burger Chon but just never got an opportunity can come try us out and hopefully fall in love with our restaurant and Willett's cooking.
Congratulations to Burger Chon. It's tough being a restaurant owner during the pandemic, but they did a great job there. All right, so fifth recipient, CNY Global.
Can you recall the last fine dining Asian restaurant that you have been to in America? Many Asian restaurants has amazing food, but lack the packaging of the physical location. As a result, many Asian restaurants are not able to charge the value of the dishes. It's our mission at Golden Town Design to bridge that gap. My name is Ting Gan, co-owner of Golden Town Design Company. Our company was founded 17 years ago by two first-generation immigrants from Lanzhou, China. Those are my parents. They have served Asian restaurant community across 29 states, complete over 350 projects. One of the most famous projects was the Yale Bar and Sushi downtown. After 15 years in the investment banking industry, I decided to come back to Houston, carry on the family business. Currently, we are expanding quickly, just finished the build-out of our new warehouse, on the path to becoming the best full-service restaurant design and materials company in America. And Golden Town is committed to give back to Asian restaurant community by elevating its perceived value through exceptional design and materials. Help restaurant owners to get the most value out of their hard work. Doesn't matter if you're a bubble tea shop or a Michelin star restaurant.
All right, I apologize. It was a little bit out of order. This is actually Golden Town International, so congratulations. So now let's circle back, as Jen Psaki would say, to CNY Global. We'll cue up the videos here in just a second. So they're getting their photo ops. You know, these glass awards are actually quite heavy, so congratulations. It's a big accomplishment. Bear with me while we have some technical difficulties, as they say. And thank you guys for being quiet. It's nice. I know it's hard. We're all just so excited to see each other. I know these conferences are about networking and meeting each other, so I understand, but
Hi everyone, my name is Jane Chen. I'm the CEO for CNY Global. After I graduate, me and my husband start our own business for recycling since 2004. What we do is we collect all the metal scrap, non-ferrous metals, and process, separating, and then sell to smelters and to make the new products. Right now in the United States, we have 8 locations. Our headquarters is based in Houston, Texas. And also we established 2 plants in Thailand 4 years ago. So we become more competitive in the industry. As a company grows, we understand more about leadership. The famous CEO, Jack Welch, who said, leadership is about raising others. We have a lot of employees being with us over 10 years. We are so happy to see they're growing.
whoa, we got flowers coming up on stage. Look at that. Ow, ow. That's awesome. That's sweet. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations. That's to make up for mixing up the names, I think. Okay, now we have our 7th recipient, Gap Engineering.
I'm Mike Homa with Gap Engineering. We started Gap Engineering in 2004, and the reason we started the company is we saw that there was a need for companies that would represent the owner side. There had been like a big drain in knowledge, I guess, within the companies themselves, where everybody started retiring like crazy. And so, hence the name Gap Engineering. We basically start filling in the gaps within the corporate world on projects and within engineering and helping them out. So we got a project with the government of Ghana, basically, revamping their water system. We had gotten on a team of other engineering companies and construction companies, and were asked to do the engineering portion of it. And then as the growth of the project started to take off, some of the members dropped off. We filled in the voids and basically expanded, our portion of the project. So when we started out becoming up, kind of a smaller piece of the project, at the end, we ended up having a lion's share of the work that was going to happen. You can be tiny, you can be really small, and yet you can partner with a huge company and be part of massive projects. And really what it is you need to kind of do a little bit of research and find out what it is that they need and then fill that need.
Congratulations, Mike Homa, Gap Engineering. Thank you. And shout out to our photographers for getting them moving. It's a hard job here. Okay, Grand View Construction.
Hello, my name is Charles. I'm one of the project managers of Grandview Construction. This company started in 2016, Houston, Texas. We have two divisions, the residential division, which does single-family house and a multi-unit apartments. And we have commercial division, which does warehouse and a shopping mall plaza and a hotel. The way we do construction, just like a family reunions, we know everybody's names and we are interested in people's family. So the culture to me inside Grandview Construction is giving people purpose and challenge. So we want to be able to provide an appropriate amount of work, but also allow you to go home and have good work-life balance. And safety is just has to be part of your life. Your loved ones have given us the responsibility to make sure that they come home at the end of the day, at the end of the night. As a young construction company, we understand what the challenges are, but we are committed to serve and contribute this community. We didn't build the company to compete or beat anyone else. We just want to go out and be better than we were yesterday.
Great job, congratulations, Grandview Construction. All right, two more to go. Our ninth recipient, Fat Eatery.
Hi, my name is Alex L. Young. I'm the chef and owner of Fat Eatery. We started Fat Eatery back in 2018. We opened it in the new KT Asian Town. At the time, we were at the third restaurant opened over there. Then I had my first restaurant, which was a 600 square foot. After a rented restaurant, I told myself I will never be in the restaurant business again. It's just the long hours and everything. But look at me. I guess there was a second restaurant, there was a third. And Fat was my number 9th restaurant. I'm pretty much at the restaurant every day. Supervising, the restaurant is running pretty good, but I am very keen on the attention to details, what we can make it better, and the service, what we can do better, especially during the pandemic. That's made a big difference. The day that Texas closed down all the restaurants was March 17th. We were lost, we didn't know what to do. All I know is first thing I care about is my staff. What do? They have bills to pay. There are a lot of things they have to worry about. When you do to-go only, your packaging is the only channel that you can communicate with the customer. Put enough attention, detail to the package is as same as like how you treat the food. So that made a big difference.
All right, congratulations, Alex. Fat Eatery, it's Malaysian food, it's my motherland. All right, and our last but not least, Wison USA.
I'm Vivian Lee. I'm a chemical engineer. I joined Wilson Group in 2013. Wilson Group is a diverse group. Three are core business, which is Wilson Engineering Service, and offshore marine engineering, and new chemical materials. Business covers the utilization and the storage of premier energy, that including the oil, gas, and coal. And also we provide engineering services and the marine engineering equipment fabrication, and also new chemical material development. When the pandemic starts, we are in pretty much 10% almost to the mechanical completion of one of the biggest EPFC projects we are doing here in Texas. So we changed the construction plan in order to follow up the CDC requirement, try our best to reorganize the site. So for the long term, our strategy is continue growing within the USA and do our best to benefit the regions.
All right, congratulations, Wilson USA. The recipients are all, we're gonna bring them back on stage for a little bit of a group photo op. Sorry, I feel like I'm in your way.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good, come here.
All right, so congratulations once again to our Rising 10 Award recipients, and thank you to our sponsors. Let's give them another big round of applause. All right, we're just about wrapped up. I'm going to bring up Kenneth Lee, Board Chair-elect, to come up on the stage. He's already here to close it out.
Well, howdy, thank you everyone. How so far? I want to thank you everyone. Well, all the distinguished speakers, honorable consul generals, our sponsors, Bank of America, Comcast, and many of you, especially your attendance. I want a special thanks to Natalie He, our beautiful and talented moderator, MC, anchor of Fox 26. Thank you. Last but not least, our chairman, being you, and our directors, Paul Gore, Barbara Gayo, Sensen Fan, and of course our board members. Can you stand up to be recognized? Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work to make this great event. As the mayor said, the best is always yet to come. As the incoming chair of the 2022 Asian Chamber will invite you to our annual gala at the Lone Star Flying Museum on October 23rd, and also celebrate our 30-year anniversary. Chairman Bing Yu would like to take the opportunity to appreciate your attendance I mean, the party is not over. Please network. There's a lot of friends want to say hi, to do business with you, to visit all this expo. And our chairman is so generous. He said, if you visit our expo, we will draw 3 gala tickets, each as a $250 value at the end of the session, 3 p.m. Drop your business card to the ACC box, and then please continue to support Asian Chamber of Commerce. Buy tickets and to be our sponsors. As the mayor, the chair, everybody say, rebound, recover, re-engage, and re-rise. I'll see you at Expo and October 23rd, Asian Gala. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. All right, thank you, Kenneth. And that just wraps it up. I know you're eager to get back out there. You have an hour and a half left to network. Congratulations once again to our Rising 10 winners. Don't forget to sign up and attend the upcoming events. And thank you once again. It was an honor to MC today.